All right, people. So earlier in the week, yeah, we got a dilemma, question, whatever it may be. So I'm going to read it out, and basically it's related to this topic of the day because, like I said, at the time when this came through, I already had it planned for us to talk about, and then we decided let's make it on Friday where everybody's in. So I'll read out the dilemma, and then we'll watch the video. So Brent, can you get the video loaded up, please? This is not a dilemma, but more of a question or potentially a topic of the day. One especially for Eamon, but for everybody. I wonder what the TDA collective thoughts are in relation to the white couple. Pardon me.
I said capitalist.
I wonder what the TDA collective thoughts are in relation to the white couple, Gabriella and Thomas, who adopted the Nigerian culture for their wedding, as it seems to have caused a bit of a stir in the community over social media. My question, or the question rather, is where do we belong? How, who, and what dictates that? If where you live doesn't claim or embrace you, and where you're from doesn't claim or embrace you, and even your origin, then where do you belong? So, Brent, please play the video that I thought would be loaded up already.
Loaded. No, because I feel like they should have gone to Lagos. Did they do it in Lagos?
I'm not too sure, you know.
Do they live in Nigeria?
Apparently, she was born in Nigeria, but I don't know if they live in Nigeria now.
Okay, because if the thing is, if
she met her husband there as well.
If she has some sort of tie to Nigeria, do you want me to lips this thing
I just
every
want it
day?
closer. I just want it closer. But it's there for a reason.
Oh. Not one episode or session goes by where you're not like,
because the people need to hear you.
Hey, yo.
you can hear me. Anyway,
Yes.
is there some sort of tie to Nigeria? Like, if there is, then I understand.
Okay.
It's not as random as it looks. So for me, when I first saw it, I thought, wait, like, not like you're doing up pantomime or like costumes, you know what I mean? But like, I didn't get it. Then obviously watching the video, there's loads of black Nigerians in the video.
Yeah.
So there must be some
one
sort
of the advisors.
There must have been a tie. Like, you've got people speaking, and do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I'm asking, is there some sort of tie to Nigeria? As in, like, if she was born or raised there, then I would, do you know what I mean? I'd understand why culturally that's what she would want to do, because she's honouring her culture.
Her what?
Her culture, though.
Her culture.
If she's born there.
Yeah, she was born and raised there. That is her culture.
Is it?
Yes.
She doesn't know anything else.
Does it make a difference?
Doesn't make what make a difference?
Doesn't make a difference whether she's raised there or lived there.
Yeah, because that would be her culture, though.
No, but I mean, what?
Culture is not your nationality. Culture is your culture.
But if she wasn't raised there, what are you saying I think disrespectful?
Do you know what it is? Yeah,
I think it's weird.
My issue, yeah, and I think my issue with these things anyway. Now, I feel like for Nigerian weddings, there's just a template, and it tends to be a template of Yoruba weddings, because I would say Yoruba weddings, because there's so many cultures within Nigeria, and they do their weddings very differently and stuff like that. But there's currently a template of people who live here and who live in Nigeria. Like, every wedding just looks the same. You get the fireworks, you get the smoke machine, then you do the ashrebi as well. Then you have those people, them people in the metal men, the tin men dancing. Then you have the sparklers, the club thing. You have the board. Like, there's literally a template for the weddings now. So personally, with all of that stuff anyway, I'm not with it, because I just think I don't like that it's like a trend. I feel like a traditional wedding, like I've always said that obviously as a Christian, I look forward to getting married in church. But culturally, I look forward more to the traditional wedding because of how rich the culture is for a traditional wedding. And I don't feel like that is being honoured anymore. And I think that my issue is that I believe that this is like the beginning of the erasure of it. Because people have turned it into you just want to trend on Bella Niger, you want to trend on TikTok. That's really what it's become. So that's my issue with it. Whether it's what's the name? Belinda and Jonathan, what's the name?
Tom and someone.
Tom and Sarah.
Gabriella and Thomas.
That's it. Whether it's Gabriella and Thomas or whether it's Sheyi and Femi, like whoever the case, I just feel like what the traditional weddings was meant to be. I'm not saying we can't upgrade things over time or add your own flavour to it, but I think with the weddings, that literally looks like I could have picked any other random couple that was dancing there and said it was their wedding. Like, it literally all looks the same now. But I think that if she was raised in Nigeria and she's born there, I don't think that's an issue. That's her culture. That's how because again, if it's a thing where if she's never been exposed to any other culture, What's she supposed to do?
What's the expectation?
But-
Yeah,
but why
that's
do
what I
we-
mean.
But why do we think that she's been exposed to only Yoruba culture? Just being in Nigeria, because
We've
I'm
got two
assuming.
Nigerians in this room. How much do we talk about Nigeria?
Yes.
Nigerians are we're very main character. We're very annoying, actually. Very annoying people. We make everything about ourselves. So do you think that if she grew up in and lived in Nigeria and grew up in Nigeria, she wouldn't have embodied
But
Nigerian culture?
I don't necessarily think it would be at the expense of her own culture, though. I feel like she probably, if she was born there, her white parents would have been there. They would have. I don't think they would have been fully like us back home.
But the thing
they
is-
would have been sheltered to some degree, and he just came there for work.
But that's
how
why I
they met.
say that whole trend thing, because you're right in that wherever culture she's from, really and truly, your wedding should reflect. I think with a wedding, it's the bride. Nigerian culture, well, Yorubas anyway, it's the bride's culture and stuff that you adopt for the wedding or whatever, right? Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, it is. The bride's culture. So if, for example, I'm from a certain state, traditionally that's where we go. You go there to marry me, kind of thing. But because this has become a trendy thing, it looks fun. It's a fun party.
Yeah.
So that's why anybody and everybody, because I've even seen people who are not West African doing Ashobi, but your own culture has their own materials that you not wear. But you want to do the Ashoke, you want to do the lace, you want to wear what it is that Nigerians wear, because again, that's what trends and that's what you feel like looks cool. So I'm just gonna adopt that. So yeah, you're right in that wherever culture she's from, really in the ideal world, it should be. I feel like she could have maybe had little parts if she had to, but because it's a trend, and that's what I have an issue with, regardless of whoever's doing it.
Do you feel like there's a bit of mockery there? Do you feel like there's a bit of pantomime and just
I think so.
fancy dress?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not really.
No.
No? Okay, explain. Tell me why.
That's how the wedding. That's the tradition. That's how the wedding goes, isn't it? It's her biggest day of her life. Why would she be mocking it? She's clearly that's what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of hypocrisy there, even from people that's probably go up in arms about it, and they picked up these European traditions and got their harlots wearing white dresses. Like, this is a joke. You know what I'm trying to say? There's people that's probably chatting shit about this now that got married in the European style, didn't go to their culture and do nothing compared there. So it's all right for you lot to get married in the church and follow the
But that's
white man's
Christianity,
ways.
not European though.
It's a total different argument, but depends on what side you look at it from. But still, they'll get me because
Sorry, do you mean the white dress? Is the
Yeah,
white
so
dress?
it's saying church wedding, but church wedding is Christianity. It's not to do with European, because if I went and did a Scottish wedding, then that's me taking someone else's culture.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
But the
just
church
saying,
is for everybody, because in Africa as well, we have church weddings.
they weaponize the church. They come to Africa and ran Christianity and used it to do slavery and all of these things. A lot of these practices that we got, they came and brought to us. So it doesn't matter how you want to look at it. Like I said, it depends on how you look at it. I see it as white people practices that they're doing, and users are fine with it. You know what I'm trying to say?
It can't be derogatory. It's like he said, it's the best day of her life. That's what it's supposed to be, the most important day of her life. What, you think she's going to commemorate a whole day taking a piss out of Nigerian culture?
I don't think
It's not
I don't think
intentional,
it means.
though.
I don't think
Yeah.
it means that taking the piss as in that she's intentionally mocking it. But if you're doing something, you had a whole Nigerian wedding and you're not Nigerian, that is in advance. You're mocking it.
Can't, because let's not forget.
But you're not.
things-
Yeah, but you're not. It's not as. Wait, mocking something doesn't have to be a spiteful thing. You can do it. You can spitefully mock something, or you can think that you're embracing and enjoying something. But the people who that culture belongs to will see that as a mockery, because you're not taking what this tradition is seriously. You're not using the tradition. You don't understand this tradition. You don't understand the purpose of the tradition. You've just seen that whatever it is that we do appears to be fun. So then you've decided, I want to have that fun wedding, but that is a mockery to what our tradition is. You get what I mean?
2 points.
Yeah.
First one, we can't forget that these men have like Indian-themed weddings. Them have like
who's
Disney-themed
these men?
weddings. Just in general, when you see like generally white people
Okay.
will have Indian-themed weddings. They wear the saris, they wear the
That's a
bindis,
mockery,
they wear. All right, you're cool. They do all of that. They have a Disney-themed party, a princess-themed party, all these different themed parties, things they love, right? And the second thing, I get what you're saying, but if they'd done their due diligence to do the research and it just didn't pan out well, like it wasn't properly authentic, which in all fairness though, they will never make it authentically real because themselves aren't Nigerian. But if they're doing it with the best interest and their, what's the word I'm looking for?
Best
intention,
Yeah.
then I can't, because I think the word mockery within itself, in its heart, the definition is something derogatory or from a place that isn't positive. And I just don't see it. I just don't see it like that.
I feel like not knowing the tradition is what makes it a mockery, because even within Yoruba, the way people from Ondo would do their wedding is different to the way people from Ogun State would do their wedding. Is different to the way, and they're all Yoruba. Do you get what I mean? So it is a mockery because you've seen what it is that you think is the popular way or the cool way of doing it. There's no way, no matter how much research you've done, maybe the most research you would do for to appropriate someone's culture like that is you would just get Nigerian vendors and say, how does a Nigerian vendor go? You're not going to go and speak to any elders to know, okay, in this, like, what part does it like this? What part of Nigeria, even if she was born in Lagos or wherever, or whatever state she was born in, you have not gone and done research of, okay, as people who are from Lagos, how is it that we do our wedding? Why didn't we see all the part then when they come, when they do the knocking on the door, when they do the introduction, when they come to your house, when they do this, when they have the bride veiled up, why, when they ask for your hand in marriage, when they read the letter, why did we see any of that part? What we're seeing, I don't know whether they did all of that part, but in other weddings, when they do highlight reels, we see that part. We see when you take the man's cap and you do the thing with your hand. But we see when he feeds you this. We see all those things. But again, because people use this is a trend for people, and I do think it's a mockery of the culture. It's so obviously, to be fair, I've heard some Nigerians who feel like it's they don't think it's that deep because it's like, oh, like people are just embracing our culture and enjoying the culture, and again, that's fine. However, if you're somebody that cares about what the generation 20 years from now are going to know about our traditional weddings, then you will see that as a mockery. It's not just a cool trend to just jump on for the sake of, it's diluting what the purpose of these things are, and that's the issue.
You don't see it as
People
commemoration.
should stop having European weddings as well, though, if they feel like that, though.
But again, that's the thing. But that's if you are of the belief that having a church wedding is European, then fair enough, that argument stands. But if you are a Christian and you read the Bible and really and truly, the Christian wedding is even more important than the traditional wedding, because getting married with God as a witness is more important than human elders, then that's not the argument, the counter argument for that.
And would you see Muslims, black Muslims, getting married in an Islamic way as an Arabic wedding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're consistent.
But that's not accurate though. There'll be things that's infused, right? But Christianity isn't European. You know what I mean?
Europeans bought it.
God is not European. Anyway,
I'm just saying.
God is not
The Europeans bought it.
God is not European.
Like I said, so there's a
God
different
is
argument you want to
just
have. It depends on what
Europeans.
side of the aisle you stand on and how you look at it. But the Europeans bought it there. You know what Europeans done with Christianity, where they came and colonized the world and with the slavery. You know how it happened. You know why we're here. You get me? Like, so yes, it is European. This is a white man's religion.
Okay, let me ask you, what makes a white wedding or a European wedding, the ones that you see in church, what makes it European?
That's their style. That's their thing.
No, but what exactly is it though? Because like, is it the suits? Is it wearing the suits? Is it walking down the aisle? Is it being in the church? Because then we can somewhat unpick it and actually ascertain if this is a European thing or if this is a Christian thing. Yeah, like what are the things that make it European and not Christian? You know what I'm saying?
I believe they're one and the same.
Because what if everybody turned? Let's just say it was Yoruba people. Everyone turned up into that church wearing Yoruba clothing. It was said in Yoruba language. If that was the case, is that a European wedding?
So they're wearing
Our native clothes,
yeah,
and we're
It's in a
speaking,
church.
in church. It's just a church building, right? You've got somebody at the front who's like, he's a Christian, he's a reverend or whatever he's doing. He's officiating the wedding.
all the practices of the wedding is done in Yoruba thing. It's just held in a
so
church.
Yoruba hymns, Yoruba language, Yoruba clothing. Yeah, we just sit in the pews and walking down the aisle.
If it's a traditional Yoruba wedding, I don't think the venue makes a difference.
No,
No,
but
but
then
that
why
wouldn't
would
be
that
a-
be a traditional Yoruba
Yeah.
wedding? Though it's not. That's what
Why?
you're saying.
Because it's done in the church. I said the practice. I don't know what a Yoruba wedding
No.
is. I don't know how you do it. If you follow every steps of what a traditional Yoruba wedding is, yeah, I don't care where your location is, whether it was in a food hall or in a church or in a mosque, it would be a Yoruba wedding. If you follow the traditions of the Yoruba wedding, if you follow the practices of a Yoruba wedding, there will be a Yoruba wedding.
But what I'm saying, what I'm describing isn't a Yoruba wedding. I'm basically just saying it's the things that we would typically say is a European wedding or a white wedding, whatever. But we are doing it, I guess, in our own way.
How did you get married?
Both.
Oh, you done both.
Yeah.
What did you do first?
You always
The
do
trad,
traditional
innit? You always
first.
do the traditional first.
Yeah. What am I talking about? I didn't even do no white wedding, man. Why did I add that to my story? I didn't even do that, man.
No, look at Brent's face. Brent's giving meme face.
Brent's about to pull up the full receipts.
Did you go to my church? Did I go to church?
Did you go to my church?
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
No, what else are we talking about? We didn't go to church.
Did you have a white wedding, Brent?
I filmed something, but it wasn't. It
I
wasn't the white wedding.
didn't go to church.
You went to the registry and stuff. innit?
Yeah, and I did our own style, man.
Is that European
Okay,
then?
fair play.
What, registry?
Yeah.
That's
No,
just
but
the
it's-
law of the
that's
land.
just the law of the land, yeah.
That's just the law of the land.
So we're doing law of the land, but we're not doing what the law God
No, but he wants to be legally. He wants to be legally married,
Alright.
though.
You got to
If he
sign
went
the
to the registry office to be legally married and then done a traditional wedding, I think that speaks to doing it properly.
So, Gina, do you think that's derogatory? Like, just the jump.
Before we continue, Emmanuel, where did Christianity start?
Oh, I mean, depends who you talk to, man. But I would say, I don't know, man. It's tough, man.
It was Middle East.
Yeah, okay, let's say Middle East.
This is not it's up for debate. It was the Middle East.
Yeah, but
So
it is
when
up
you
for
say
debate. why isn't it up for debate?
because that's where it started, and it
No, but you
was
can't just answer it that way.
it was in the area that people now call Israel Palestine.
All right, cool.
Anyway,
Free Palestine.
Margs, when you say like the Europeans brought their white religion,
White Jesus.
you know, Europe only touched Christianity after it was brought there by the Roman Empire, right?
Yeah.
So
The Romans are Europeans.
you're talking about the practices
The
of
Romans
the wedding.
are Europeans.
I'm aware, but it didn't start in Rome.
Okay, but you said they brought. Wait, okay, go. What are you saying? So what are you saying to me? Talk to me.
When you said that the practices, are you just talking about the practice of the wedding, that ceremony, as opposed to the religion?
Yeah.
Let's say that then,
Why?
because it's important.
I don't think it is.
All right, fair.
So what? So you're saying the actual ceremony is European?
No, he was saying that it brought the white man to religion, right?
No, but you're not only saying that though. You're saying also the wedding part.
No,
innit?
but that's what I want him to clarify.
yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't
so-
that what you're saying?
It's just
Also,
the practices,
the
white
practices, the
practices of
traditions,
that
because
particular.
and what are the practices from the thing got to do with Christianity? Really and truly, the Christianity part is making a promise in front of God. Yeah, what's having altar boys and bridesmaids and flower boys and flower girls and wearing the white dresses and that? What's the hell's that got to do with Christianity?
Hey, when I did a hot take and said I don't even need to basically look to
It's
get
your
married.
desert thing. I
Yo,
knew that's where you're going
kicking
with it.
up.
No, but I'm
I
saying
said
though,
you just need to. I just
what
look,
part
I
of
just need to
that?
look at Gina
What
and say, I
part of
love
all those
you.
practices
I
have to
want
actually do
spend
with
the rest of
Christianity?
my life with you.
The Christianity
Let's go and
part.
have sex.
The Christianity part is the promise, the Trinity, the you, your wife, and God, and the
Those are
promise that
bad-
you make.
Sorry,
All the
sorry,
other bells and whistles.
Sorry. It's not an HR moment. I was basically harking
No, I know, but I didn't even
to a
understand
point
what you
that I was
were
making.
So wait, I have a question, Esther.
Not for me,
Yeah.
right?
Well, all of you can answer because I guess you've said the importance of like getting married in the church. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't get married in a church, you don't think you're honoring God. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So if you get
But that's me
married,
personally. I don't know how other
so
people feel,
if you
but me
get
personally.
married,
Yeah,
it's not in a church,
Yeah.
but you have a pastor,
Yeah.
and the pastor officiates it. It's
Yeah.
like it's both. You don't think that's
No, so Christian word. So church, for me, the church is the building. So if I get married in a community hall and it's got a pastor there, that's
Same.
still, I've still done my Christian wedding. So it's my Christian, I want to do my Christian wedding. So it's not necessarily a church wedding. I feel like church wedding Christian is like it's like synonyms. But for me, it doesn't have to be in a building church. Church is just a building for me. So if I'm in a random hall where my reception is going to be, but then we have the ceremony there before, that's okay. If it's in a hotel conference room and the pastor's there, I need to be married. A pastor needs to marry me.
Okay.
Basically. That's what I'm trying to say.
Do you know? I'm just thinking because obviously, not to speak you lot's business, Bev and Isaac, sorry, but they did both. Like,
Yeah.
it was a traditional wedding.
Yeah.
They did the traditional ceremony, as in like what we would do back home, and then afterwards, pastor was there, and then we did like
There you go.
Yeah, so they did a Christian
Religious-
wedding. Yeah.
yeah. So it was
satisfying your religion.
it was
and your culture.
literally in the same.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But they were in traditional. Bev didn't wear a white dress. She was still in her traditional
Yeah,
attire.
That's what you did.
Whatnot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then obviously signed the registry
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
that's
But
the legal
building
requirement.
is irrelevant.
This
Yeah,
house
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
even
the building's-
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It was in the
irrelevant.
garden.
Yeah, the building's
Yeah.
I know, but it was just more about the pastor thing is what I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Pastor's irrelevant too.
Oh, okay. Hot
In
take,
Brent's
Brent.
It's not
hot
hot
take. You
Just
said this
said
on
it.
episode 1 of TDA.
Just said it. What? Utterly irrelevant because
It's a
that pastor
lukewarm
could be a
take.
kiddie fiddler.
Does that make him?
No, I'm
So
just,
what?
I'm
They've
just
not even
saying.
said
I'm just
that,
going
crazy.
to the extreme just to show you the pastor is irrelevant.
I meant to say
Okay.
sentence before.
So what would
Don't
make
catch
you?
me
What
on
would
finger.
then? What would make you married? What would
The,
make you
the
married?
contract between myself, my woman, and God.
Yeah, but who does that? Is it just you guys?
Brent does. Brent looks up to
Okay.
sky. Jesus, I'm about my hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And that's it.
It's not to do with the middleman.
So as long as she responds, yeah, I concur, God, then you guys are together.
Okay, God.
Oh, 100%. I can't.
I hear
Consent
it,
is
man.
sexy, bro.
I hear it. Save
You
your
say?
money, man.
Consent is sexy, bro.
Or she just leave wherever you guys are and go back to her house.
So is cultural appropriation okay then? Because a lot of
I
the
think
time,
it's
yeah.
appreciation.
Okay, there's appreciation. So
I think that example there is appreciation.
why is that appreciation not appropriation?
Because they're like a like.
'Cause they're
I
grinning?
said, huh?
Because
Is they grinning? The
she
smile?
works there.
Man, let me land, man.
She works
Talk to
there.
me, man.
She was born there. They he met her there. I mean, that's all she knows.
So I meet
The
a guy in
customs,
Mexico, all of a sudden I can
the
have a
culture.
Mexico,
Do you know what I'm
Mexican wedding.
saying?
Them is silly.
The people. That's all she knows. That's appreciation.
Even if we don't take that into account, even if she wasn't raised there, even if she wasn't born there, even none of that, the fact that she's doing it and having fun with it and they're trying to make it as authentic as they can make it seems to me like that can't be.
I don't know how you guys don't see that sick in the piss.
How is it derogatory?
That's bogus.
She's obviously having fun.
No, but do you know what it is?
So you haven't, wait,
It's-
sorry. So having fun is a criteria.
You know,
No,
that's
anything you want to do.
That's why I had to
Just
go.
grinning.
That's the bar.
Because I just thought she's having fun, and I
Nah,
thought,
she's doing it on the most important day, arguably, of her life.
Everyone's
yeah?
just shove about this when
Nah, it's
post
not
day
that
for your real
deep.
life, man.
It's not that deep.
Every day,
man.
most important day of your life, most important day of your
I don't
life.
think it's that deep. I don't think it's that deep.
There's other ones.
Personally, I don't think it's that deep.
Would
And
you
what,
feel
like-
that way if it was like a traditional Indian wedding
That's what I said.
Yes,
earlier.
that's what.
or
That's
a
what when you.
traditional Chinese wedding?
Yes, when you said that white people be having Indian weddings, I said that is also disrespectful.
Okay.
That is taking the piss.
So
So
when-
I'm making a mockery
So-
of people's cultures.
Why are you
Absolutely.
laughing
So
for?
when Sexy Red dressed up as a Chinese girl, or when Nicki Minaj appropriates certain cultures, is it the same thing?
Nicki Minaj learned how to fight kung fu for that video.
It's not even comfy.
That
She had
is-
researchers
that
on
is
set.
crazy.
Chong Li.
She had,
That is
yeah,
crazy.
she had researchers on set. That girl didn't have researchers at her wedding.
Say
is
kung
true.
fu
very
is
different.
nuts.
That's very
wild.
different.
But nah, but there's people
That's a
appropriate
banging song and
everything.
all.
Sexy Red done the same thing. Nicki Minaj done the same thing. It's all, but I can see both of them. And obviously see that they're doing it out of commemoration. It's never derogatory. They're never doing it to take the piss.
Why do people complain about what do you call it?
Why are you complaining about?
braiding their
Thank you very
hair
much. That's
and-
my
What's
next.
that again?
Why
Say
do
that
we, why do people cook Kim Kardashian for doing the braids and calling it Kim Kardashian braids or whatever the
That's
braids
different because she was trying to repackage it.
Was. Okay,
That's a
forget
very,
her
very
packaging.
different
When
thing.
she did it anyway, she was getting cooked for it. Why?
Well,
why,
but they
why,
wasn't-
why, why
they
do you guys
wasn't-
get cooked
they-
for stuff getting
They
cooked?
wasn't paying. She wasn't paying
Why
homage.
did
She
they
was
get
moving.
cooked
She was
then?
moving like it was her thing.
no, but fair enough. I'm
She was
saying,
moving
why-
like we just like we was
No, but-
born
no,
this
but she-
big.
she
Like,
didn't go and say, "Hi, it's mine."
no, but I'm
No, she
saying.
did. She was moving like it was her thing. Like she came, like she pop style.
What other
what is
examples are there of people
I
with
feel
when
like
they do-
whenever white girls do braids, they get cooked all the
they
time.
do,
anyway.
and they don't have to say it's theirs. They just get cooked for the
If
fact that
you
you've
see a
done
white
it.
girl with braids or K-Moles, not you, but like the
People
internet will
cook
have an
them-
issue
they
about
cook-
it.
they get cooked.
They will cook them and say it's cultural appropriation.
Do you feel the same?
Easy bars, isn't it?
Huh?
Were you gonna?
No, ask Gina, does she feel the same? Do you
What if I
agree?
see someone with braids?
Where you going?
Speaking of Mac, man, I can't hear you properly,
I
man.
don't want to be.
So by this standard of if the bar is people are having fun, then cultural appropriation does not exist then.
It's
all.
not, it's not the
Talk
same.
about she's having
Talk
fun.
to us, then
Same.
explain
It's
so
not
we
the
can see
same.
what you see.
I'm not gonna see it.
When
At all.
she tried to do as much research as possible, but the main problem is
How do you know, Shad? Were you in the wedding team?
Exactly.
I said Shad Joe.
I saw from what I could see,
Yeah.
everything she meant there seemed to come from a real place. I believe intention is important. The
What real
intention
place?
there. Bruv.
But you
With the
don't know the
fireworks and
intention.
the smoke in the ground.
What, we'd be offended by everything now?
No,
I don't
wait,
think it's that
what,
deep.
What did you see that
know,
came
the
from a real place?
craziest is the loudest person in here is not even black.
That's irrelevant.
You the other
If it was
side,
Mor-
you
if it
know,
was
go ahead.
if it was a
No,
Moroccan
no,
thing,
I'm on your
but
side.
it's irrelevant.
I'm on your side. It's irrelevant. Alright, I'm not on your side anymore.
Skin color is irrelevant. I'm saying
No, wait,
if they were
what-
doing any other
I agree with
culture,
you.
any other culture, I'm saying if they're doing it with the right intention, I don't see it as being derogatory.
Especially if it
they're
is
not,
that you live there. and you were born there.
So if someone's racist to you, yeah, and then they say, "Oh, it wasn't my intention to be racist," but they're still racist.
No, of course they were, because that's racism in its inherent meaning is negative.
Okay,
You
so
can't-
if
it can't come from a positive
if
place.
you're not from your, if it's not your
unless you're
culture,
Saleh, sorry.
if it's not your culture and you've done something, whether you meant it well or not, the people whose culture it is can feel as though you're making a mockery of their culture because you think there's just a nice trend to just jump on. You cannot use people's traditions and people's cultures that have been around longer than you and your generations have been as a trend.
Yeah,
I
but we're
get
having
it.
How
separate
is that not
conversations
seen as
because
a
you're
mockery?
talking in
That's a
general. You're not
separate
talking about this video
I
because
am talking about that video.
it's not
I'm
because
talking
you said that's her culture.
I said if
Exactly.
she
So
lives there,
she's exactly. So, but you called it
No,
her
yeah, but-
culture, and he questioned it. So if that's
Yeah,
what
but
we're
when he
talking about, she's
questioned
not
it-
mocking anybody.
When he questioned it,
If
it
you-
made me realize actually either way it is weird.
If you've never been,
Either way, it is
if-
weird.
Like you said, if you've never been there or anything, if you've never been anywhere in life, you've lived in England your whole life, you ain't never been anywhere, and you all of a sudden you pick, I want a Yoruba wedding or a Pakistani wedding, just because you even if it's from a nice place, just because you love the setup so much and you love the food which is there. I hear where you're coming from. Everybody could see that as a mockery, regardless of what your intentions are. You know what I'm trying to say? If she was raised there and born there, like you were saying, and you are calling it this is her culture, she has every right to do that. And there's nothing, regardless of how it's received, because that's users' business. She don't know user. Regardless of how it's received, anybody can feel how they want. You know what I'm trying to say? But like you were saying, intentions speak a lot to it. This is what she knows. There's no mockery there at all. You can feel how you want to feel. It's got nothing to do with it. These are opinions.
I feel as though, yeah, we're basically assuming that someone born in a particular country is exposed to everything in that people's culture.
Why are you going to assume that they wasn't for? You don't know her, and you're making up these things in your mind to suit your argument. You don't know what she was exposed to or how she was
Why
lived.
do we think that she was though?
Because she was of her wedding.
You
Yeah,
just
but,
look on
but I just
Instagram
told you
page
that
for
people
that
from
one.
Sierra Leone are having Nigerian weddings.
Exactly.
They ain't
You
been
get that information
exposed.
from anywhere.
Probably ain't never been Nigerian one day in their life.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. It's
But
two
they- but
separate
they would have
arguments.
the
If you're
same exact wedding
generalizing,
as
are you
her.
talking about this person and this wedding? Because you just said it's her culture.
I didn't say
I
that.
said
It's not her culture.
that, and then as Iman was talking, I thought actually no, it is weird either way. So I've changed my stance.
Okay. So I think European weddings are weird. You're not doing that are weird.
So if you're gonna get married, yeah.
I ain't gonna get married.
No, you can still ask the question.
If I was gonna, what would I
Who's
do?
gonna- yeah.
I'd probably go. Yoruba wedding, you know.
You know, forget it.
No, because it's lit. You see it. You get what I'm trying to say? It seems lit. I'm only joking. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really care like that. I mean, I'd go registry office.
I do not think it's wild about society today. I think it's wild that people will do something that is not theirs, and then the people who it actually belongs to would tell you that they don't like that, and the people say you're doing too much. Because I don't understand how people that are from the culture, that understand the relevance of the culture, are seeing their culture being made a mockery of by the way that their culture has been reduced to just nice parties with smokes and fireworks indoors.
It's a joke thing.
Fire hazard anyway, but story for another day. I don't understand how I know what traditional weddings are about, what the significance of it is, and I'm looking at somebody who is not having a traditional wedding, just wants to have the party side of a Nigerian wedding, and I'm saying that is a mockery to the culture.
Yep.
But then people who are not even Nigerian are telling me it's not a mockery. And that's so hilarious.
Question. Two questions. One, are white South Africans allowed to have traditional South African weddings?
That's me?
This is the first question to everybody.
Hell no.
Are they allowed to have what?
Traditional South African weddings.
I'm not South African. That's not my fight today.
Yeah, they might come for me again, but in my personal opinion, no.
Because they're South African, no? They say they're South African, so yeah. In
But
my
then,
mind,
no, but you mean when you say traditional South Africa, you're talking about black South African weddings. The same people that before 1994 there was oppression in their own country. Yeah?
I would say
Are,
yes,
the, are the Israelis allowed to have Palestinian weddings?
No, astaghfirullah.
Exactly.
What?
Exactly.
How is that the same?
How is it the same? You don't
You asked your question, don't repeat it.
you don't see the link?
No,
Why? Why don't you see the
Nigerian men
link?
do that. Yeah,
because
bad.
the white South Africans, they've been in South Africa for like their time.
How long has Israelis been there?
What, in
Since
Palestine?
1946. Shall I give you the history again? Do you want me to?
Wait,
They
let's
didn't go there in
let's not
1946.
get distracted, please.
Israel was meant.
Yeah, go on, Brent.
Let's not get distracted, please.
Yeah.
So,
I'm basically showing a parallel to what you're saying, innit?
but I don't know how it's a parallel.
You've got people who went to a land, right? Displaced the people who were there.
Oh, so you're talking about the
And oppress the
Israelis who
people.
live in Palestine.
Yes.
Can they have Palestinian weddings?
Yes. Because they were
Do
exposed
Do
to them.
they?
I
What's-
don't think
what's-
there's any Israelis that want to live in
what-
Palestine.
Are there Israelis living in Palestine, Emmanuel?
Yeah, of course, they're taking over the land, aren't they? They're building settlements. I understand what he means, though.
Then what are we doing?
I don't know, it's his analogy.
He's
Let's-
not, he's
let's
not
focus on South
acknowledging.
Africa. Let's focus on South Africa,
Yeah, go on.
right? The traditions that they have at weddings,
Yeah.
it's kind of different to Nigerians, it's kind of different to other countries,
100%.
right? Right? And you specified and said black South African weddings. What
Yeah.
does that mean?
Whatever the indigenous people of that land do for their weddings. I'm not South African, so I don't know.
So you're even making up something. You don't even know if there's separate traditions.
There has to be a separate tradition. It shouldn't be hard to comprehend. It's very simple. You've got people who went there and did not mix with them. That's what apartheid is by definition.
Let me go back to my different question. God damn it. All right, so you all keep saying that it's a mockery. You and Esther say it's a mockery, right?
Yes.
Maya, do you agree it's a mockery?
100%.
Okay. Now, is it are there specific things that are only to be practiced by black Nigerians that they were doing in this wedding that you saw in the picture, in the video? As to why you're saying it's just the dancing that they basically look to do.
No, but
what are the specific things that only black Nigerians can do in that wedding that they can't do?
I believe all the things that we do for a reason. It's linked to stuff that we've been doing for 1,000 years.
Is that a question I asked you and you didn't answer just now?
No.
You didn't answer
So-
this question.
Are there specific things?
Tell them. What are they? What are the
Well,
things?
one, it should not be in those clothes.
This is what I'm going back to. I'm starting from the beginning so you guys can see it.
So they can't wear the Nigerian gown.
It
No.
shouldn't be. No.
All right.
Why?
So
Is it
question.
the wrong
But I'm-
clothes?
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I'll be so
So,
honest with you. I'm
question.
engaging with you in this topic.
No.
Because we're on different
Let me
sides.
focus, Emmanuel.
And sorry, and when I'm explaining, you're not listening to understand. You're listening to tell me I have European mindset. So
I'm
I'm a
listening to
choose
understand.
Can I pose?
Yeah, but,
can I pose
I mean,
a different question?
it is
Sorry.
European
No!
mindset.
Oh, wait. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. What
Even
if?
go here.
What if?
you
What if?
rude?
What if one of them, say one of the spouses is Nigerian and the other one isn't?
But this is what I'm
it.
going to ask. You don't
Okay,
answer
you
his
ask. Okay,
question.
ask.
Don't answer his question. You are such.
What?
Anyway,
Go on.
Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Before I ask the question, I was going to follow on from because if there's a white man that comes in, you all said it's a practice to follow the woman's culture, right? A white man comes in. Is he not allowed to wear the gams?
Yeah, but the woman who is the Yoruba woman has invited her in.
No, I'm just talking to the point where you
Yes,
said you
yes.
should wear the
So
clothes.
traditionally, what happens? So, say for example, I was marrying a Ghanaian man. We would represent my culture, Nigerian culture, and we'll also represent his Ghanaian culture. So with that, they look like they're both from the same place, but clearly she's Nigerian, he's not. In that, what should happen really is that you celebrate both cultures, basically. So even
he
if the other
can
person-
wear the Nigerian gams.
Yeah, because if I was marrying someone who's not Nigerian,
right.
he would wear it.
All right.
Yeah.
So to the point where you said one of the specific things that is different between that is practiced in Nigerian weddings is the clothes that one wears, right? Mile, you said that these white people cannot wear the clothes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's for South Africans or that's for
This is
Nigerians?
Nigeria.
Yeah, but the thing is, one of the people has to be Nigerian.
No.
Neither are in that video.
Let me get to that in a minute. Let me get
Okay.
to that in a minute. All right. So other than wearing the clothes, what other practices is just unique to black Nigerians? Go on.
The way so we're talking about traditional weddings or we're talking about what I saw in the video?
Because, okay.
Are
Yeah.
we? Are we talking about traditional?
Oh,
Was
no,
that traditional?
So that's the party that follows the traditional wedding, yes.
So,
But that's why, gone.
getting
That's part
confused.
that's part of the issue. So typically when you have a traditional wedding, you have the ceremony part of it, the actual marriage part of it,
Yeah.
the family stuff, that you have the cultural part of it.
Yes.
That part is the part that follows after the families are joined together, so we're
Yes.
celebrating that.
Yes.
My issue with culture today is that people just see the party part, the celebration part, and they decide that what they're going to do is adopt the celebration part without doing what it is that makes you that brings on the celebration. If that makes sense.
We've only been shown what we've been shown.
Exactly.
So we don't know what preceded this.
Yeah.
All right. So you believe they can't even do the traditional part that precedes this?
I
These
don't.
two white people.
No, I'm not saying I don't know. No, she shouldn't anyway.
Shouldn't, right?
No, but
Because
she
they're
should
not-
anyway.
because they're
But
not
I
black,
don't know
right?
she did.
Because they're not black, right?
Yes,
All
because
right.
they're not Nigerian. No, not
not
because they're
Yoruba
not black.
people.
Because they're not Nigerian.
Good. Thank you very much for that. Do you agree?
Of course.
All right. What makes one Nigerian?
Our culture, our DNA, our culture, the things that we live.
Can a white person be
Do you know what
Nigerian?
yeah,
They can be
I'm bringing the
Nigerian
word black
nationality.
back in the table.
So, no
Black Nigerian.
white Nigerians, no Chinese Nigerian. No.
Black and mixed race Nigerian. You've got to have Nigerian in your blood.
Yes.
It's not just by a passport.
Wait. There's a reason why I went South Africa. But let me get back to the
Allergy question.
what makes you Nigerian. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's just say her family has been in Nigeria for the last 6 generations.
Okay.
Is she Nigerian?
But you're Nigerian because you're born there. But I'm talking. Remember, this is not Nigerian culture. This is Yoruba culture.
Do you know what? In Nigerian, in
When
the
people
sense,
are telling you go back to
in
your
the sense
country,
of what
talk
you're
about, what do you
saying,
mean I was born here? You're not British, and you talk about how I've been born here. It's enough. But then when it's on the other foot, it's not enough.
No,
Because when I
I
talk
don't
about-
want to go so far.
No, but
I
wait,
don't
wait,
want
wait.
to go so far.
in the
I
sense,
don't
in the
want
sense of what
conflating
you're
things.
saying,
Damn it.
in the sense, no, I'm answering your question. In
I'm
the sense of
talking
what you're
about Nigerian.
saying, no, she's not Nigerian. Because I'm British and I'm Nigerian. But I lived in Nigeria, I grew up in Nigeria. There's Nigerian in my blood. However, my Britishness comes from me being born here and me living here. But when I say what culture I am, if you ask me where I'm from, I tell you I'm Nigerian because that is my heritage. That is what I can trace back. So me just living here, I would never say I'm British just because I've lived here. Because if you look at my ancestry, it starts and stops with my mum. My mum came here when she was 15, and that's it. We can't trace it further back.
Was there a
So-
time when you never had a white wedding?
This is my
Yoruba
culture.
people.
Nigeria.
Yoruba
There would have
people.
been.
You talking about Yoruba people? yeah?
Yes.
There would have been, but
And
it
there
wasn't in
still
my
is,
lifetime.
And it still is currently,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
All right. Why do you do the white wedding? There was a time when
Why
it is
I
your
do-
people.
But this is it though. Again, the white wedding is a religious thing.
That's it.
So there are people in Nigeria
People
till
keep
today
saying that.
who would not have a Christian white wedding.
At
And
all.
there are also Nigerians who are Nigerian who would have a Christian wedding. In my lifetime, I've always, because my family were Muslim and were Christians, they always have the religious weddings as well as the traditional.
But there's practices
So
in
in
that
my
white wedding that's
lifetime,
got
I have-
nothing to do with Christianity.
But yes, of course. But
So why do you keep saying
don't
that?
Say yes, of course. It matters what he's asking. So
What practices are there? What bridesmaids?
All of
Those
things
are part of the
doesn't-
witnesses that you have
That's exactly
for the
what it
wedding.
is.
What are you talking about?
So no one
can't
told
say-
you to dress them up. Okay, cool.
Dress them up
Be-
in the what?
But this is why
Be
our
obtuse.
shit- No,
It's
no,
fine.
no, no, no,
It's
wait,
fine.
wait,
No,
wait,
but I'm
wait.
trying to
I'm
But
just
this
understand
is
get
though.
back
It's
to this
fine.
white stuff. Just
It's
What
fine.
practices are in a Christian white wedding that is foreign? I'm trying to understand. The bridesmaids stuff, of course, over time things have been modernized, and that's why I said even with the traditional wedding, I'm not saying that people can't add their own flavor to it. However, the core of it, regardless of what flavor you add, the core of it, the importance of it, the relevance of it still must be there. So if we're talking about white weddings, the core of white weddings, because not everybody has bridesmaids. I don't even think I want bridesmaids. Not everybody has bridesmaids. Not everybody does have page boys or whatever the case is. These are other extras people have added on. However, though, it all adds to the witnesses who are witnessing you getting married.
question. Back to the white point. This is what I want to understand. So somebody who had their family in generations, 4 generations deep, longer than you, right? Because you weren't born in Nigeria, right? And I'm not saying that you can't practice a Nigerian wedding because you weren't born in Nigeria.
That's impossible to say.
That's
There
fine.
you go.
That's fine. But their entire past 4 generations have understood the culture, lived in the culture, appreciated the culture. And you're saying they can't basically have the wedding in which the culture reflects their lived experience?
Have they mixed with us?
As
I
in-
need to know more.
As in slept with the...
had children with.
Do they have
are
mixed race
yes.
Nigerian
Are they
kids
part of us?
in the
So
lineage?
let's just say they did and they didn't. Would it change your
Yes, it
opinion?
would, because
so
if they
do
did-
mix with you all, then you can. But if they don't mix
Yes,
with you all,
because-
then you'll have to basically
Because you're not part of us.
you'll
It's that simple.
you'll
Brent.
have to observe the wedding practices from which country your grand
do
come
whatever
from?
you want. I'm not
No,
here to.
no, no,
wait,
no.
wait. I'm not here to police
No, but
the
you
Chinese
have
and
to
other
though,
people.
because even within Nigeria, though, that's what you must do. I cannot be from Ondo State and be doing and be having a traditional wedding the way people from Ogun State have it. It doesn't. That is not how it's done. The whole traditional thing. It's a whole
There's a
thing. You
significance
can't. There's
to
a
it all.
significance to it.
All right, beautiful. So thank you very much. And I'm learning here today. I did not know that white people could not basically have weddings that look culturally Nigerian. I didn't know, but now you're telling me. It's fantastic. If you were this probably we probably answered the question based on me working out what you just said. Let's just say back in the day, one of your ancestors were removed, displaced from Nigeria, and ended up in America. You now become one of them FBA motherfuckers. So over the course of however many years, generations have been in America, and you've come back.
Yeah.
Can you? And this is the first time you come back. Can you then have a Nigerian wedding?
Yeah, but if you've come back and you're one of us, and
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
said, okay, cool, yes.
No, without being able to trace it though.
Yeah, but I mean, we're displaced. I think that's a different scenario because that's somebody saying, I want to come back. I don't necessarily know where I'm from, but this is something that in my spirit that resonates with me. And the people back home, you've come to us, you said yes. It's just like us initiating people from America, from Brazil into Ifa. It's the same sort of thing because we see at least that you're one of us.
Okay, so the burden of responsibility to shut that wedding down is on the people of Nigeria because they're doing something obscene on their land.
It's not about the burden of. It's at the end of the day, this is a free world. People can do whatever the hell that they want to do. But to me, this is very simple. This is Yoruba culture. This is a culture that's practiced by Yoruba people.
And
All
this is based on just the dancing also, not what they did before, because they may not have done that traditional thing before.
Yes, because they can't do it.
Okay,
That's the
okay,
thing.
okay.
What Esther's talking about, it can't be done. They can't trace their lineage to Oyo State. They
Okay.
can't trace to anywhere.
Okay.
It goes right back to England somewhere.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
They're not us at all. So what they're doing is just copying. It's just wearing bloody a costume and grinning teeth.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Everybody didn't understand when M.R. was speaking in all sorts of stuff. People didn't understand when Tug of War was making reggae music and whatnot, bashment. But this one here, for some reason, we can
Clarity.
accept.
Everyone's
I don't
clean.
understand what's going on here.
So I think it's because not a lot of people understand
Or use
that
brain.
this is... Huh?
Not people are not using their brain.
No,
They're not thinking properly.
I'm not from Nigeria.
I'm not talking about you.
So I'm asking questions because both
Yes.
of y'all are saying one thing and both of y'all are from Nigeria.
Yes.
I'm supposed to now see y'all as the experts in this room. Do you understand?
cool.
So I'm now hearing you cannot, it doesn't matter how long you've lived there, how long your family's lived there, you cannot look to observe that particular practice.
If I'm marrying Esther,
Unless
guess
it is that you sleep
if
with
if I'm marrying, where am
some
I going?
Nigerians.
If I'm marrying Esther, where am I going? I'm going to trace her lineage. It goes to her family house,
My hometown.
her hometown. I'm going there to knock on doors. You know what I'm saying?
That's a nice
It's
tradition.
it's culture. You see what I'm saying? That white man, right, who came there for work, he's been there for the last I don't know how many years. Where is he going to knock?
The British Embassy door.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
No, coco.
In
That's what
in
Ghanaians call
Nigeria.
it though.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
Yeah, coco.
She was born in Nigeria. He's gonna go and knock her family door, innit?
Nigeria.
There's no family door.
It is. Her
How?
parents.
The family's
Nigeria.
there. What are you talking about?
Right
Okay,
there.
let me explain because obviously you don't know.
No, but I'm being dumb on
I'm not-
purpose. No.
I'm
No,
not.
but Mugs don't know.
know.
So for example, right? I could have a house in Lagos and be living there, but that's not necessarily where I'm from. My village. You see what I'm saying? It's a custom to go to my village where those people, where we've been there for generations, hundreds of years. You can trace it all there. You see what I'm saying? That's part of it. They can't trace nothing there. They go to Lagos and diverts on British Airways back to England.
No, the passport's got a stamp on it though.
So they'll go to the embassy, like I said.
And I think
That's
that's,
what I'm
and I
saying.
think that's the interesting thing because like the traditional, like 'cause even the traditional weddings that we have now, obviously is modernized. I think because we live in different parts of the world, people make do with what it is that they can, but there is still that thing because even if I was to get married here traditionally, my husband's family would have to come to my home, and then within that home you have the elders of the family. So it's not even gonna just be my mum and my brother. It's the people that have known me
Yeah,
since
no,
I
for
was
real,
young,
yeah,
that
yeah.
know the
Exactly.
family
Yeah,
history,
yeah,
that know the
the
family
community.
name,
Yes.
the community.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
back
exactly.
home, what would happen is that you would go back to like where your
know.
like say your state or your village or whatever the case, wherever you're actually from,
Yeah.
and that community like it's a whole thing where they're celebrating with your family of, oh my goodness, this amazing thing that's happened to your with your child.
White weddings
The people
are
who make the
European.
food, like it's a community
Exactly.
communal thing. So even with traditional weddings, my issue goes even beyond this white girl and white man having Yoruba wedding. It's even within our culture, or black people as well, or black Nigerians even, I would say, who want to have a traditional wedding, but just again for the vibey party afterwards.
Yeah.
I have an issue with that
Can I
because you
also-
don't understand you're not acknowledging what the real substance are. And I don't like the fact that it reduces, it's watering down essentially the culture. And over time, it's going to erase.
Yeah,
Because if
exactly.
we carry on like this, how in 20 years' time will the younger generation know what it is? We keep talking about how, the language is wiping out, blah, blah, blah. That's just one of many things that's being wiped out.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jenny, you were
100%.
going to say?
No, I was gonna say I hear what you're saying because I've also seen like
Thank you.
No, why is on your cheek?
Put it on your cheek.
I've also seen. Can you hear me?
No.
Well, this is what you're getting because you're getting on my nerves. I've also seen like people say stuff like in Ghana, like when people get married and stuff, sometimes they wear gele, yeah, and it's not no one there's Nigerian, but they wear gele because they like how it looks. You're not Nigerian, babe.
Can I ask a question for the room? Well, mostly to Iman and Esther.
I hope that's Christy.
If is there a way someone who isn't Nigerian, isn't Yoruba, isn't none of that, but they really like the culture, say they live there, I don't know, whatever. Is there a way they could input that into their wedding without it being derogatory in you two's eyes?
You can have a joint wedding with your Nigerian friend.
There you go.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
So they can't even get the
Do you know what it is? My culture
Maybe
is
the
not.
food.
They can't, that's about to
Yeah,
say. I thought you were
yeah,
gonna say
yeah,
food.
yeah,
yeah.
Damn, they can't even get the food. Fucking
Oh,
hell.
I thought you meant the whole ceremony because again, when I think of traditional wedding, I don't just think of parties. I think of the real.
Yes.
So I always have to make that distinction because I don't think traditional the way I guess the average person would think that in terms of just a vibe. But yeah, you can have the food there.
The food is where it starts and stops.
You can have the food. I don't see why you're wearing the clothes. I'm sorry, it's
Okay.
weird.
Yeah.
And again, because I've seen recently, I think there was a whole thing on TikTok or whatnot. I think they were Congolese. What are we doing?
What happened? What?
This time, Congolese people have their own
have their
traditional
own.
clothing anyway. So you've neglected your traditional clothing because you want to see what you see trends online. I have an issue with that.
That's kind of hard. though.
Does it change
That makes
if
sense.
Kind of hard, yeah.
does it change if she's adopted?
No, it does change. It does change.
How do you
Because
check the
if-
lineage?
no, 'cause if
If she's adopted, the lineage goes back to the person that adopted her.
No,
right?
because the family she's grown up in are Nigerian.
Okay.
So when you're getting married, when say a guy or girl is getting married, it's a thing where you're celebrating the parents that have raised them and all that kind of stuff about the family, blah blah blah.
community and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the
it's
community
same
is still
thing.
there.
Yes.
When they call up the community of this adopted Nigerian boy or girl, the community is Nigerian and black.
Exactly.
All right, so that's
Okay.
how these two white people could basically appreciate the culture.
So
They
if
were
we
adopted.
say she's
She was
adopted,
she was born and raised there though.
She was
It-
adopted by the country.
You get what I'm saying?
Nah,
That's the loophole.
She was adopted by the culture. She was born and raised there. Again, I think there's two separate conversations because it generally everything that you're saying is right.
no,
I
no,
think-
because
you're
if I see you with a Nigerian woman, I swear to God, if I see you with a Nigerian woman, I'm bad mouthing you.
I think everything
None
that
of you
you're
are allowed
saying.
to marry a Nigerian in this
I
room.
think everything that you're saying is
Except Mini Man.
absolutely right for people that are just cosplaying and doing it because, like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
This woman that was born and raised there, she's well within her rights to do that.
But
Secretly, you lot letting the sauce. You lot letting the sauce go.
What do you mean?
Now they know that all they got to do is get adopted there. They're gonna start doing that just to get the pass.
Yeah, you gave them an in. I
Yeah,
don't know
man.
why
You
you
gave the
guys
sauce
are
out.
Yeah, but we would have to
telling
have the
telling
desire to wanna
everybody
adopt
else
them.
that you guys are authentic.
Let me tell you what it is,
Letting
yeah.
all the secrets out.
All the sauce.
If
All
you
of
think
us.
if you think you're making one step, I promise you, Nigerian's making 10 steps ahead of you.
How
That
about
is a fact.
how about
100%.
You
How
stay
about-
there.
I'm glad you're back. How about if
Well.
how about if the man is Nigerian and she's
Yeah.
white,
Yeah.
can y'all have a Nigerian wedding?
Yeah, they can. Because she can.
He's
Yeah, you can.
Nigerian.
Because traditionally, again, you're meant to.
Woman.
No, because again, Nigerian weddings will represent. If you're marrying somebody of a different culture, it will represent both cultures. As a Nigerian woman, as a Yoruba woman, if I'm marrying an Igbo man, there will be Igbo aspects in that wedding, and there will be Nigerian aspects in that wedding. Oh, so not Nigerian, so there were Yoruba aspects in that wedding. So if it's a white woman marrying a Nigerian guy,
Yeah.
at some point she's going to be in the traditional clothing because that is your that is your vibe. You're not allowed.
Thank you.
You're not
Also,
allowed.
And thank
they're saying
you,
white
Emmanuel.
weddings started in England in 1840.
What is a white
Marriage
wedding?
ceremonies have been here in the Bible from the 21st century before Christ. Okay,
Yeah.
So your white weddings are European.
That's good.
All right,
It's got nothing to do with religion.
All right, let me.
You're talking
just,
about them wearing white gowns and stuff?
I'm just saying the white weddings, how they are constructed, was constructed at a certain time. Marriage ceremonies have been around here long before then, so
yeah,
they're
so
not
I have
the
a
same.
Christian marriage ceremony.
Hmm?
I have a Christian marriage ceremony. I'm going to be in a white dress because I'm a bride of Christ.
Yeah, I'm saying, but yeah, it's gonna be done the west. It's gonna be done the Western way. It's gonna be done in the European way.
But what is the Western way?
There's the way you do it.
All right, let me put it to this.
You don't want to argue these facts. It's not me.
Wait. I'm going to give you more facts too. The hijab and the niqab and all that sort of
Oh, why
stuff.
do you
Yeah.
even bring us into it?
No, it's important.
Yeah,
It's
everyone's
important.
saying now because
Yeah,
you
what is
allowed.
it?
It's important.
So you guys are in there by because of you.
Exactly.
Black force.
You're doing this to your people.
Is that Islamic?
Go on, man.
What?
Is wearing a hijab and all that Islamic?
I'm not well versed in Islam. You know more about this than me.
Is that Islamic?
Yes.
Are you sure?
The hijab.
Yeah.
Yes, usually within the culture of other.
Before Islam, were women wearing it?
I don't know.
I'll tell you that it was.
They're gone.
You know who was wearing it? Christian women were wearing it
Okay.
because it's a cultural thing. It was adopted by what? By the religion, and then now it's
You
seen
made a
as
hot line. We made a hot song.
that's fantastic. It's still being used and seen as an Islamic thing. The white weddings that you're talking about, these practices are seen as Christian things. They're not seen as white things. Nobody here is trying to, I want to do the white thing to be like, no, it's a Christian
The
thing.
source is wild. Though.
That's basically what it is.
The source,
This is
so you
what
got that
people
from
don't
as
get.
Shit.
And I think that's what's
Excuse me, I don't know what you'll do.
So the source of where you got the information from is the shit place to get source.
But
What, the internet?
there was
No, the Quora.
I don't know what it is. I can find other references where it was there. Some people say in France and certain. It's still the marriage ceremonies have still been around here from.
But they have
Quaid.
been adopted by Christianity. That's the thing. So when Christianity has now come, people have subscribed to Christianity. They become Christians. That's what they're practicing. Nobody is thinking I'm taking on the French custom.
I'm definitely not.
If you tell them it's French, they'll even say, "Okay, I don't want that one."
Okay.
That's what they'll say. They're taking on the Christian thing, just like Islam took on the hijab from Christian Arabic.
I don't know why you're shouting
women.
at me. I don't
I'm just telling you
Sounds
facts.
convenient. Hey, Christy, come on the
I speak
Discord,
facts,
please.
man.
know why you're shouting at me. I don't know.
I need Christy on the
I
Discord.
can show you pictures of
You don't want
of-
Christian
of-
Discord.
No,
I do.
how do you know facts?
I
Just
do.
to cuss you out for the nonsense you've been talking about all this morning.
With me,
Yes.
Christy's telling me I'm 100% right.
Christian,
Maybe on the white wedding thing you were saying. On the other nonsense you were saying earlier about the white girl can be having a Nigerian wedding,
What?
Christy was defo against your ass.
Christian just
Again,
on air. I'm going to agree with Esther Emmanuel.
No, I don't want you to. Esther and Manuel have never needed you to help them make their points. You sit over there.
What,
We've
what,
learned- we've
what are
learned
they
a lot
saying
today.
facts to Margs for?
Okay.
When
alright,
it-
okay.
the-
What
that
say
means
facts?
For
the
everything
European
I'm
wedding-
spitting.
It's not everything.
Bar for bar.
It's
You
not
know what it is?
everything.
What's
Let-
man talking
let-
about?
let- let me
It's
give
all
this-
first
No,
verse.
wait, no,
No, but
it's
it's
not-
All first verse.
It's not.
I didn't even started cooking
Let
it.
me
It's
work.
all first verse. Let me
This
work.
is
Let me
why
tell you-
Chance the Rapper said the book don't end with Malachi. You know what I'm saying? Read the end. Read the end so you get the full gist. Now I'm seeing people
They're
say,
not
"Yeah,
saying
you man,
facts.
you man's preaching." Yeah, of course,
Oh,
I'm,
So I'm
what?
saying,
of course I'm
if
preaching.
you want, they're not saying facts for everything you've said.
At all.
You've said
At all.
some very wild things today. They're saying for the whole European thing.
Okay.
But then Iman's countered that.
You got to take your victories where you can.
Good morning, Christy. Clearly. Crumbs, clearly.
All right.
Good morning.
No, not to. I ain't not gonna. Sorry, is my reception clear? Because last time when I was going off, my reception was being the enemy of progress the last time, so I
No,
couldn't
you
get my,
clear, girl.
my stuff off.
Real
Okay.
clear.
To be honest, E-man, I'm kind of surprised you're on this side of things. The thing is, at face value, when I saw the video, I was like, "What are we doing here?" Because you already know my stance. I said, "What the hell? What are these two colonizers doing here? What are they doing?" When I heard the context of she's in Nigeria, he works there, and whatever, then I was like, all right, fair enough. Again, I don't think they should be doing it. Don't get me wrong. But for me, the onus for me is on our people for allowing and accepting this. The onus for me. That's where the onus lies for me. Because I agree with Esther on the point of right now, people when they're doing quote unquote Nigerian weddings, they're just thrown on a lace, thrown on a gele. There might be a tutu live band and Nigerian food, and literally that's it. And that's what they're calling quote unquote Nigerian weddings now. And that's not really it. It's literally been so commercialized. It's just commercialized at this point in time. No one's even really even looking into the deeper meaning. So I agree on Esther on that point. However, I'm gonna need Nigerians in the diaspora and Nigerians even at home to literally drop out the white wedding. Because if we didn't have that, then this won't be. I don't know what we're fighting. But if we actually drop that out, why are we doing it? Because if we're so gung ho about our culture and everything, and I'm not saying that the people back home don't do their culture, because they do, but also put respect on the white wedding as much as they do the culture, and to me that's incorrect. It should be dropped out 100%. It should be dropped out all across the board. Because why are we doing it? I mean, in the diaspora, I know there's cooning left, right, and center. So I get why people would want to hold on to they make emphasis on the white wedding. But again, the fact that we're even calling it quote unquote white wedding, I'm proud to say, as Nigerians or whatever African country you're hailing from, to me that's wild. That's wild to me personally. Why would you even, the fact that we're even championing that? So to me, that's why I can't really be like and have an issue with them. When to me, there's not enough gatekeeping, and if we want to be holding on to the white wedding so much, then by all means, they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
No, but Christy,
However, I do believe that it's definitely been commercialized. Like to now, it's not even Europe. It's not even a Yoruba-centric wedding at this point. Again, it's just you see a lace and a gele, and you think automatically that's a Nigerian wedding, quote unquote Nigerian wedding. When there's obviously other traditional cultures. As you said, there's Edo weddings, there's Ijo weddings, there's Igbo weddings, there's all walks of different tribes' weddings. So
Christy, are you basically saying people should let go of the white weddings? Those people that
100%, because I'm not because I'm sorry to say that people using the white wedding as a I'm not saying Esther, but I'm saying there's people using a white wedding trope as a scapegoat to say it's Christianity when then the two are not intertwined. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right.
Calling
two
a wedding
things, yeah?
Christianity, it's not this. Please, it's not.
All right,
It's not the same thing.
All right, Christy, you need to tell me why the two are not intertwined. And secondly, should Yoruba Muslims stop doing Islamic weddings?
Should Yoruba Muslims? To be honest, I don't know what Yoruba Muslims do. To be honest, with you. I can't lie to you. I can't speak from that perspective.
They'll get married
I don't
the
know.
Islamic way, innit?
I've never attended a Yoruba Muslim wedding, so I don't know what the ins and outs of that. I don't know what they do. Someone would need to tell me what they do.
Okay, so tell me why the two are not intertwined. Christian wedding and white wedding.
This whole white wedding, apart from going to the church, and some don't even go to the church, and they will still say, because they will still use a scapegoat that it's a Christian wedding when it's not.
So if they're not going to the church, what are they doing? And still, how is it still a white wedding?
How's that white wedding then?
I've been to a wedding that went in the church.
No, but they call it a white wedding.
Yeah,
there a pastor there?
Yeah, there was a pastor there.
Yes.
This is there. It wasn't in the church.
So basically, the
buildings,
church is the hall.
the
But
buildings.
the church is a building,
Exactly.
though.
It's-
I'm saying that's what I said to you before. The buildings are important. You can have a Yoruba wedding in the church if you wanted
No,
to.
but then they went to a
No.
church. Then it's just not
It's
a
still a
church,
church wedding,
building.
yeah.
It's still a church
We have
wedding.
white weddings anyway.
Yeah. But the thing is, because saying a white wedding that's got a pastor in it is a Christian wedding.
No, but I'm saying, okay, cool. Yes, it is a Christian wedding because obviously that's the religion that you subscribe to. The practices and the things that you are doing today are
But
European
us, for example, what's
practices.
the practices?
I told you so.
Bridesmaids.
All these things. That's got nothing to do with
What else?
religion.
What else? What else?
You know,
The whole setup. Your whole setup.
What's
The
the
only
setup?
thing that's
Walking down the
Christian.
aisle.
The only thing that is religions is the promise that you make to God when you're reading your scriptures and your Bible verses and whatever. That's the only thing that's religion's got to do with it. Anything else.
What's
is-
everything else?
I don't know. I ain't been married.
You've been to one. You've been to weddings,
It's a
though?
European practice.
You've been to weddings, though?
It's a European
Have
practice.
you been to weddings?
Yeah.
Okay, so what have you observed? Because you're so on the streets and you really do research.
Your ring.
Daryl Blake.
I told you.
What other practices are there that
I
makes
told
this a
you.
white wedding?
When you have your wedding parties, your grooms, your stag do's, your hen do's,
Okay.
your groomsmen, your maid of honor, your ring bearers, your flower boys, your nonsense. This is nothing to do with religion.
All right. So
Nothing to do with it.
I've typed in some stuff. Let me know if this hits the mark of a white wedding. You too, Christy. Please let me know. Right. 1.
Okay.
White red wedding dress. The bride often wears a white dress, which has come to symbolize purity and virginity. This tradition.
Okay, well, mockery already. Harlots.
This tradition.
We should be wearing black dresses.
This.
Oh God.
I wish that wasn't engaging you. I think confused. That's exactly why. Sorry, bro.
This
It's
tradition.
for virgins. It's for virgins. The white dress is for virgins. Sorry,
It's
Brent.
modernized.
Sorry,
It's
Brent.
modernized.
Sorry,
All right?
please.
But wasn't that actually a thing though about it being for virgins? It was.
Yes, it's purity. It speaks to the
Yeah,
but
purity
you know what Jesus
of the.
says?
Of the
No, but isn't that?
You know what Jesus says? I am a bride of Christ. This is why I'm going to wear the white dress. I'm Jesus' bride.
All right, let me finish, please.
So you
This
get very
Yeah, go on,
strange.
sorry.
was popularized by Queen Victoria in the 19th century. All right.
I was just coming to say this.
Secondly, exchange of vows. The couple exchanges vows during the ceremony, either traditional phrases prescribed by religious or civil authorities, or personalized vows written by the couple themselves. Number 3, exchange of rings. Rings are exchanged as a symbol of the couple's commitment to each other. This practice is rooted in ancient customs and symbolizes love and fidelity. Number 4, processional and recessional. This ceremony often starts with a processional where the wedding party enters in a specific order and concludes with a recessional where the newly married couple and the wedding party exit. Number 5, wedding reception. After the ceremony, it is common to have a reception where guests can celebrate with the couple. This typically includes food, music, dancing, and sometimes games or other entertainment. Number 6, speeches and toasts. During the reception, speeches and toasts are often made by key members of the wedding party, a family or friends wishing the couple well. Number 7, cutting of the wedding cake. Number 8, first dance. Number 9, bouquet toss and kata or gata toss. And number 10, something old, something new.
Say it like that.
These, I wasn't going to read the rest of it. But these are the practices that are synonymous with white weddings.
And then that's nothing to do with, and most of that is not nothing to do with Christianity. Most of what you just read out.
Christy, when you go to a Yoruba wedding, do you have people give speeches? Yes, you do. You do.
Yeah, they give speeches.
All right.
Yeah, they give speeches.
Yeah, 100%. So,
Yes, you do.
So annoying.
no, because what I'm saying is, just because they're also present in white weddings, doesn't mean they're not present in our weddings. And it's
No,
not.
no,
We didn't take
Iman,
it from
don't do
them.
this. No, Iman, don't do this. So because of a speech.
Did we? No.
Because of a,
All these
I
things that were
Because of
mentioned.
a speech.
It's not because of a speech. We can go through some of the list again, right? Some
Okay.
of those things are present in various cultures.
No,
White
in a
people,
Yoruba,
white people, the first people
Iman,
to give speeches.
No. In your traditional
We that had town criers, you know.
in a Yoruba traditional wedding. What Brent, what is the similarities there?
X. Okay.
There were other things that he mentioned. Yes, he would have to go through the list again quickly. But there were definitely
Come on,
other things that he
Iman.
mentioned.
This is why I'm surprised that you're taking this stance here.
No, Christy, let me tell you something, yeah? Me,
Too much going on in this
Christy,
studio.
let me tell you, yeah?
You are fighting for it.
Brent, you're distracting.
Yeah,
What's going on here?
the job?
Don't matter, you're making hella noise over there.
Brent's moving mad. This is a HR moment.
Thank you.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, Christy and
Sorry,
Emmanuel.
Christy. Sorry, Christy.
All right,
Brent was giving Gina a hug. Can you imagine?
No, but sorry.
What was that, man? Basically, what I'm trying to say is this, yeah?
I'm surprised you're fighting for a white wedding like this.
No,
man.
I'm not fighting for white
But
women.
About throwing the bouquet in thing.
But why are we talking about white wedding though? Because
Throwing the bouquet, is that Christian?
am I wrong
Christianity.
in that? What we were talking about earlier was Christian like when you said that white weddings are European, we were saying Christians are having Christian weddings. That's different to a white wedding. If you're a heathen and you have a white wedding, because people do that as well, where they just like the aesthetics of getting married in a church and in a cathedral and all that kind of stuff, then fair enough. If you're Nigerian and you're doing that, fair enough. However, if I'm Christian, but I'm also Nigerian. I'm also Yoruba Nigerian. How am I going against my culture by having a religious wedding? I don't get that link. I understand all the other parts. If you say that I'm doing the hen party, if I understand the other European practices of it, I get that. But in terms of the Christian ceremony, which is what the wedding will be, that's not European. That's Christianity.
Exactly. Like, there's obviously going to be certain
I hear
things.
that.
Yeah.
I hear that,
There's
but
obviously
let's be real.
Christy.
When people are doing white weddings, they are not focused on that Christian aspect. Let's be real here. Come on. As much as a lot of us will can say, oh, I'm not again, not, Esther, you will carry that. But let's be real. Generally, when we are doing white weddings, especially in the diaspora, I'm sorry, it's not because they're not holding it to a thing of
I
I'm
agree with
doing this
you.
because it's Christian.
I agree
It's
because it's
not.
the same thing as the
They're doing
traditional
it
weddings.
because it's
Then
a white wedding, and it's been a part of. It's just I have to do this, not because it's Christianity, and that's my point.
but
My
don't you think
point
that's the
is
same thing
we
with the
hold,
traditional
we
weddings?
hold it. We hold that in high regard. So that's why I'm not gonna again, I'm not agreeing that they should be wearing it because I don't think they should be. But my also thing is we on the other side don't even keep to what we say, but we want to dictate what they're doing.
But
No,
Christy,
no,
yeah.
we need to be in house and talk amongst ourselves because there were even Nigerians who were championing what they were doing. Nigerians from back home,
Well, remember she
they
lived
were
there,
championing
so
what
she's
they're
got
doing.
friends, you know. But
No, but
Christy, but you know what you're saying,
generally,
like
they were even criticizing us and the diaspora that had an issue with it. They were like, "Oh, why are you not talking?"
yeah, but
That's
you
what I'm
know,
saying.
anyway,
So
that's a different story for another day.
this is my point, and that's my thing.
But you know
So
what is though?
if
So I hear what you're saying, and I agree with that. I do believe that a lot of people that have white weddings don't have it for the Christianity side of it. So the way I would take my Christian vows seriously, and I would take my Christian wedding seriously, is the same way you would take your traditional one seriously, right?
yes,
So I imagine that you are more likely to just have a traditional wedding than have a church a
I'm
Christian
not
wedding.
doing a quote unquote white wedding.
Exactly.
That's
But
impossible.
I will do
No.
both because both are important to me. The average person doesn't, when they get married in church or whatever the case, or have a white quote unquote white / Christian wedding, they're not doing it necessarily for God. Like they're not upholding the values of what that means. In the same way, for the traditional, they're not upholding the values of what the traditional means. And that's what I have an issue with because in all these things, I have an issue with atheists who don't believe in God going to have a church wedding because you're just doing it again for the
It's a
aesthetics.
fact.
And that's the same issue I have with non Nigerians wanting to do Nigerian weddings
Oh,
for the
a
aesthetics
hundred
because
percent,
again, as we
a
know,
hundred
there are
percent.
so many cultures and tribes within Nigeria, but when we see these weddings, this appropriation, it tends to only
Oh,
be one that's being
yeah,
copied.
it's
So
literally a
that's how
lace,
I
and
know
it's
that
like
there's
I
no
said, it's a lace and a
substance in
gay.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
personally have an
Uh,
issue when it is that you don't believe in God, you don't care for God or anything like that, but you want to have a church wedding because you like the aesthetic, you like the feel of it. And in the same way, you're not Nigerian, but you want to have a quote unquote Nigerian wedding because you like the aesthetics of it. I have an issue with, I'm consistent. I have an issue with everybody.
no, I
So
same
there are no
because the thing
specific rituals
when
or
you mention
ceremonies in the
completion in it,
Bible mandated for
Are you
Christians.
speaking about a black woman? That's crazy.
I wasn't hearing
It's
it.
crazy work.
It's
Crazy work.
What's that saying?
These are the she tried to stop a black man. Hold up.
After he silenced the black
Does
woman,
it?
yeah,
Wait, does it? All right.
it doesn't work.
The-
No substance.
what God asks of Christians is one, make sure the marriage is held as a covenant. Number two, make sure the unity is for life and the commitment is strong. Number three, mutual love and respect. Number four, leaving and cleaving. Obviously, leaving your parent, mother and father, blah, 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 and cleaving to your wife or husband. Number five, witness and celebration. Number six, spiritual preparation. Number seven, morality and purity. They don't have any specific ceremonies attached to Christian weddings.
Because it's Western traditions and cultures. That's why. That is why, regardless, irrespective of the religion or whatever, it is a Western European
It's
tradition.
culture.
It's cultural.
It's
It's their culture. This thing, yes, it is.
I didn't say anything. Wait.
You didn't have to. You looked at him, he heard your mind.
Watch this. I've said this on the show many times. When you take on somebody's religion, you take on their what? Their culture as well. I've said this many times. I'm not under any illusions that when you're taking on Christian weddings or taking on Islamic weddings, you're taking on some of the culture of the people that you got it from. No illusions. I'm simply saying when people are having Christian weddings, having Islamic weddings, they're not thinking about the European. They're not thinking about the Arab.
Ignorance is bliss.
That's fine. But they're doing it solely because of their religion and because they see it as a connection to their God. These white people are taking on their culture. There's no religious aspect. There's no spiritual aspect. It's simply
Vibes.
It's just
Okay.
costumes. That's what I'm talking about.
That's
The
the
only
argument.
reason why a black person says, I want to have a white wedding is because they believe Christ is there.
That's
The
fine,
only
and that's
reason
what
why
I
you want to
agree-
have
and
an
I agree
imam
with
at your
that.
wedding is because you believe Allah is there.
And I agree
That's
with
it.
that, and I agree with a lot of the stuff Esther said, but that's why I said, are you generalizing or are you talking about this girl? But this girl is not doing it for vibes and things. She was born and raised in Nigeria.
She's not a Yoruba person.
Yeah, but she's not doing it for vibes. She's born and raised there. It's her culture.
It is vibes. It's vibes.
No, it was vibes. It was vibes.
She's
It was
she's not
vibes,
one of
because
us. She's not
it
one
was
of
vibes.
us. At least when the Christians doing it, they're together. They're Christians. At least when the Muslims do it, they're Muslims. You know what I'm saying? When the Jew, they're Jews. They're taking on Jewish customs. Yes, it may come with some Hebrew culture. Yes, it may come with some Arabic culture. But they're doing it solely because of the religious, spiritual aspect of it. There's not God is not involved in that situation at all. This woman is solely there saying, "Oh, I like the way these blacks do what they do," and then just doing
That's
it.
cheeky, man.
I don't give a damn. I'll give it that. It's just
'Cause you
our
know that-
culture.
That's the bias coming out.
No,
though.
but
It's
you know
not
what
the
is
bias,
the
it's fact that
because
I'm saying.
you don't know how long she's lived there.
She's not a Yoruba
I
woman.
hear what you're saying.
I want to know what culture that the person that was dancing in that costume was from. You remember the entertainment they had? I want to know what tribe that was from. Because this is when you don't know your things. Now you're
The
doing
thing
mix
is,
and
we
blend.
don't
You're
even
doing
know.
pick and
That's what I'm
mix.
saying. I don't know that they was even trying to do a Europe. That's what I'm saying. It was literally just a generic thing. They
They were just
weren't
Western
even trying to-
costumes.
It was just.
This
It
one at
really
the
was.
party.
That's what it is.
So that's why I said,
And this is why we have an
I will
issue.
100%. I will 100% take issue, but at the same time, there were also us here who are also doing just vibes and not even looking into the meaning
And
of,
you don't
of
mind
the
about
of the
that.
culture.
Take
So
and y'all don't mind about it. Well, not
No,
you. You
I
mind
did.
about it. My own doesn't mind about that.
I
'Cause-
mind. I mind.
Iman would though.
I'll tell it straight, boy.
No, he wouldn't.
Well, say that again. Say that again.
No,
what
he
would
was
I
saying,
mind
he was
about?
saying, no, they're allowed to. They're allowed to.
What did I do that was just bad a minute ago? Because in the chat it's like, oh, that sounds cool for you, man.
It's
That's too
check.
far. What did I do?
It's how you basically, let your bias show. And you're like, you don't care. Like, damn right. Because they shoot right.
I don't understand what I did.
No, sometimes when you say the quiet things out loud, you forget that you weren't supposed to basically let it out. So,
I think I
You
was
let your-
supposed to.
but that's all right. It's
You
not-
say you
it
let your
doesn't matter.
intrusive thoughts
It
win.
doesn't even matter.
All right, cool. Now I just want to know where I went wrong. That's all. Maybe so I can do better in 2025.
You went wrong.
Apparently, what did I do?
Never mind.
I
Never
actually
mind.
missed it. I didn't even know you said.
It's about white. It doesn't matter. All right. So
Yes, talk to us, Brent.
no, we're finished. We're finished.
Okay, cool. Let's
Wait,
wrap
we'll
it
have
up.
some more stuff on the itinerary.
Okay.
So thank you very much, Christy,
Thanks,
for calling
Christy.
up.
Be
Thank
away.
you, Christy.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're always going to just divert to y'all, default to y'all because you're
No,
the
you wouldn't.
Nigerians
You
in
guys
the room.
wouldn't because you
I
got
said-
side.
I
No,
told you,
no.
yeah, I'm just. You're on
No,
your
I don't
side.
want you on my side. I don't want you on my side. You guys will not
The
divert to us
Nigerian
because you lot sat there, Caribbean looking and all.
Ramsey was
talking
doing the
about
most.
how we were wrong.
He was doing the most.
That's
That's not
dirty
dirty
work.
work.
Ramsey was doing the most.
That's not, no.
I
you don't know
I
that.
should be
You've
allowed
never
to
taken the
basically
test.
have a traditional wedding.
No, you've never taken the test. You guys
A lot of
sat there
Jamaicans
and
are from
told
Ghana.
the two Nigerians in the room that they were
You're
wrong
from
for
Oman.
their opinions,
What?
No, that's like.
and you don't even go here.
Can I also
So
say
no.
something?
I would just like to point out hypocrisy.
Can I just say something? Yeah, Anubis, big up Anubis. I liked his call the other day. I'm waiting so we can have a proper discussion. He said she's born and raised there, and they took her in and treated her like one of them.
That's good.
Assumption: is she supposed to have a Western style wedding when she's never experienced Western culture? My parents were born and raised in Ghana. Did they have an Ashanti wedding?
No, don't do that because you were born in the Nigerian customs in your household. You went to Nigerian parties. Don't do that.
No,
Don't
it's
do
not
that.
I didn't say me. I said my parents were born and raised in Ghana. This woman born and raised in
Oh, you're talking about
Nigeria.
your parents, not you.
Same,
my
same,
parents.
exactly.
Did he? Sorry. Did
He
you
said my
mention you at all?
parents.
I said my parents.
And you didn't mention you.
I didn't mention me.
No.
I'm talking about my parents.
You
What
listen to
I'm basically
understand.
saying
Sorry,
is, what I'm basically saying is, when you migrate and go to a particular place, you don't forget totally and know
Where you're
nothing
from.
about where you're from. What are we doing here, people?
They migrate. She was born there.
Her
Yeah,
parents
but
My
I
migrated.
parents migrated there.
No, sorry.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
Christy. Did your parents grow up in a Nigerian household?
Of course, they're Nigerian. They're Yoruba
So
people.
this is still my point.
No, he's saying his parents lived in Ghana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Migrated to Ghana.
Yes.
He was raised partly in Ghana. When
Who's
he
he?
Iman.
No, but he said he didn't mention his name.
Yes,
but I'm saying
but listen to me. Just listen to me, right? His parents migrated to Ghana. He was born in Ghana. When it was time for him to get married, what wedding did he have?
Who's he?
E-man.
Is
Emmanuel.
that the example he gave last time?
Sorry,
Is that the example he gave the first time?
that's what he's. That's what
But
he's saying.
That's what I was responding to, and you all said it wasn't him; it was his parents.
Because at the point you said that he hadn't got to the part of the sentence where he comes in. When you were asking a question about who he was talking about.
Said, if he didn't get to it, how come you know he was talking about himself?
Because I listened to understand.
But I responded to him with the same example you're saying that he said, or he didn't finish.
So what do you think he said?
That he was making an example of him,
Which was?
and that's why I said, but he grew up in a Nigerian household.
Yeah, but
Even if I use his parents still grew up in a Nigerian household, even though they were in Ghana. The same customs.
but that's what I'm basically saying about this the white people
What made
here.
a Nigerian household? The fact that they're Nigerians.
Whatever practices and cultural observations that they upheld.
No, the fact that they're Nigerians.
Well, yeah.
So with this girl and her parents being from elsewhere who moved here, the practices and whatever else that they live in should be her white culture.
But how would
The society around you doesn't mean that that's what you
if
are.
she was
That's what you become.
brought up by Nigerians in that particular
She
household?
wasn't adopted. She was brought up in Nigeria, not by Nigerians.
You started with Anuba saying a particular thing, right? What was the thing that you were saying that Anuba said?
Let me read it out for you. He said, where was it? She was born and raised there, and they took her in.
This is what I'm talking about.
She
but
was
he is
born
wrong.
and raised in Nigeria,
And they
not
took her
by
in.
Nigerians.
They
Who
are
took her
wrong.
in?
Who took her in?
Is she adopted?
No one took her in.
He is giving this Anuba's guy is giving about if this happened, why can't you basically say this? And that's what I'm speaking to.
Okay, fine, but he never said if. He's assuming, he's saying she was born there, and by being born there, she was taken in by the people there. That's not how it works.
And so she was raised in an environment that is Nigerian. She doesn't know the other. That's what he's asking.
He's not asking, he's telling us something. He's telling us something.
You know what?
And I'm
Even
also
if he's
responding
asking
by
what he's
telling him a
telling,
fact.
What is the response that you're going to give?
That just because you're born in a place doesn't mean that everything in your household
And that's
is...
when you went to your mother and father, right?
Yes.
And I asked, and what did I say afterwards?
The community
This is
accepts.
crazy.
The community. That's good. The community accepting her doesn't mean she gets to have as many Nigerian weddings
And she
as
wasn't
wants
raised
to.
by the community. She
That's
has
what
a
he's
household.
saying. He's saying that the community embraced her.
How do you
The
know she wasn't
community
raised by a
embracing
community?
you
But how
doesn't
do you know
mean-
she was?
How do you know she wasn't raised by a
doesn't
community?
know.
You don't know that. I don't understand what you're saying.
No,
I don't understand how you just be saying
I'm
that.
going off what Anubis said, which is an assumption, right?
Yeah.
Is that she was born and raised there, and they accepted her, right? Is that what he said? About they accepted
Yeah,
her?
yeah.
So the community embraced her
Yeah.
because you're living in their country.
I'm guessing they
that
did.
doesn't make them. But
Nigerians
wait,
are nice people.
Wait. Exactly. They're nice people doesn't mean
Too nice to
that
be damn
you
good.
are their culture. Doesn't mean you're from where they're from.
No, but
Do
the
you know
point
his
that he was
stuff?
making is she don't know Western culture. She knows Nigerian
She
culture.
knows Western culture.
You don't know what her
I
parents
know
are
for a fact.
instilling
No,
into her. You
wait.
don't. How do you know for a fact?
Was her
Brent?
parents born? Were her parents born and raised in
You
Nigeria?
don't know what
I'm
her
asking a
parents were
question.
instilling into her. You
Were
do
her
not know
parents-
that. You
wait a
do
minute.
not. You do not know
Wait, I
that.
know it's
You do not know
Listen,
that.
listen,
You do not know that she's in Nigeria and they're saying, "No, listen, babe, you need to know about your fish and chips and your pies and all that." You don't know that's not what they was doing.
In their house, what language do you think they speak?
I don't know.
English. They are English
So let me
people.
ask you a question.
Jelly
If she
eel.
spoke,
Can she speak?
if
Can she
spoke-
speak
if
Yoruba?
I don't know.
But if she could,
I know
would
she
that
will
change
speak
anything?
English though. Because it's the English house.
This is crazy.
Question though, but if she could speak Yoruba, would that change anything?
She's not Yoruba.
No, it doesn't
No
change anything.
DNA, no nothing. There's no house for me to
If
go
I
find.
flipping heck,
Nothing.
if I go to live in Cyprus for the next 15 years of my life, I'm gonna have a Cypriot wedding.
It depends
Exactly.
whether it's Greek or Turkish.
Yeah, but just keep
Have a
this,
Greek or Turkish wedding.
keep this energy when these reform people are telling you to go back to your country and thing you're trying to put on the bolts from that. Don't flip it and start turning around. Keep the same
Bugs.
energy because you're not from here. No
That's
matter what you did, you're not
fantastic.
here. You're not
When I
registered
go
here.
back-
I'm
so
catching
just
a flight
allow
next
it.
week.
When
no,
I
but I'm
go
saying
back-
just make
I'm
sure you
trying to
keep
go.
it though.
Yes.
When these white people, don't be upset when these white people are telling you home truths.
Stop
Okay,
the boats.
that's
for
fine.
real.
Don't be upset, bro. Keep
I'm-
the same energy.
Listen, I'm not upset.
That's
when
all
I
I'm just
go
saying.
back, just give me the jewels you took. When I
Okay.
go back, give me the free labor you
Thank
took.
Never took the
When-
jewels off you.
No, they
Why
did.
are
They
they gonna
did.
give- why are they gonna give
They
you back the
did.
jewels for?
When I go
You
back,
had no
when I-
jewels,
when
now
I-
all of a sudden you
they
want
did.
jewels.
When I go back, when I
did.
go back, let them come with me and
stole
work
from
there for
us.
400 years for free.
Thank you very
That's
much.
what they need to do.
Because I feel like that's the thing when people say stuff, it's a false equivalency because we were forced here.
100%.
It doesn't matter though.
And while I'm
It
back
does.
there, let me control their government over here.
She didn't
It
pick.
does. She wasn't forced to
Come on,
go to
She
Nigeria.
didn't pick to be born
She
in
wasn't
Nigeria.
forced to be.
She didn't pick to be born in
She wasn't
Nigeria.
forced there. Her parents were
She didn't
forced there.
pick it.
Okay, were her parents forced there?
She didn't pick it.
Were her parents forced
Forget
there?
her parents. Her. She did not
I
pick
understand,
that.
and I didn't pick to be born
So
here.
you are in the same boat.
I didn't. No, we're not.
Alright.
Different boats. I'm in a black boat. She's in a white boat.
I think I can. I think
Different boats. Not allowed on my boat.
Thank you very much, Christy. Chijoke, before we move on, do you just want to say like something to this?
Morning,
me?
Chijoke.
Chijoke.
morning.
Morning.
I know you're married to a West Indian queen, right?
Yeah, I am.
Go on.
I no. So all I would say to this is because we don't know where she was raised in terms of the people she was around. We don't necessarily know if she's trying to just take on the fact that she's just seen the way the traditional look. She liked the look of it. I think where the issue might have been if she went fully down in a particular culture. Like for example, if she started breaking cola nut like the Igbos do, I think that would have been more of an issue if she's not born or hasn't got someone in the family in that particular culture. So I don't know what the full video would have shown, whether we would actually have seen, more of your Yoruba traditions, whether that would have been more of the issue rather than what they're just putting on.
So, Chijoke, if they start breaking the collar now and they start giving the palm wine and stuff, yeah, would you have a problem with that?
Me personally, I
Yes.
would have, but
Why?
that's what I'm saying. I think where we need to take the conversation is more of what we do in that tradition, because I think sometimes we don't always follow the full tradition when we do traditional weddings, even here.
Mhm.
So I think when she's seen it thinking, oh, we're just doing it to wear our traditional clothes, which she might see when she goes down outside on the street and those kind of things there.
So she's minding our business. I'm basically saying because of what you guys do over there, I'm just gonna take the things I see, void of meaning.
I'm just telling you that's what I think. That's where this particular conversation might be going.
Yeah, but that's
I think when we talk
Mhm.
about culture, we understand that obviously it includes everything, and her cosplaying would have been worse if she wasn't born in Nigeria. But because she was, she might have seen it more,
Yeah,
and
of
so she's
course.
trying to take on that particular part. And I think
100%.
that's all.
I
Yeah.
hear I hear it. That everything you said there makes sense. You would have gone to school with people from Nigeria, of course, unless you went to international school. But still, even then, you would have gone to school with all these people. I'm simply so I just saw that on the screen. But like I understand all of that stuff. But I'm just trying to say, just like what you just mentioned about the colonizer, yeah, that's something that Igbo people do. Only Igbo people do, and it's for a reason. If she now takes that on, you yourself will have a problem with it. The things that we're seeing, that's the equivalent for us. Do you get where I'm coming from? There's no meaning. It's just there putting it on. It's fancy dress.
Because you know what's interesting? Because even as a Yoruba person, if I was to I'm Yoruba, my husband's Yoruba, but I decide to start doing your Igbo things in my wedding,
Mhm.
I'm getting cooked.
With no Igbo person present. Imagine.
Cooked. Even the people that are present, whoever Igbo friends I have that watch this foolishness happen, they're getting cooked alongside me. And that's it. And I think that's why I have an issue with, because you're right, Chijoke, even in that even people that live here don't always do the traditional weddings the way they're meant to. And I have an issue with, because there's so many cultures within Nigeria, but it's just like you pick the fun part of
Yeah.
it. I love the way the way Igbo traditional clothing. I absolutely love it. I love it down. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. But when it's time for me to get married, what's my business going to wear what Igbo culture would wear? It
Doesn't
just
make
doesn't.
sense.
It just doesn't happen like that.
And I know, obviously, in this discussion, a lot of time we're kind of using Nigerian and Yoruba interchangeably. But remember, there's a very big difference. This is the reason why earlier in the week we had a discussion that
Absolutely.
Kemi said, I identify as Yoruba and not Nigerian. So to answer the question on the screen, would their child be able to play for the Nigerian national team?
Big up, nice baby.
Probably if they got a Nigerian passport. But I don't care about that. Can they play for a Yoruba team? No chance. You know what I'm saying? Because that requires DNA.
Levandre,
what I'm saying?
speaking of DNA, Levandre says, how far does the DNA have to be in the lineage to be considered Nigerian? If her great-great-granddad was mixed, can she claim it?
Shout out for not being in caps.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Shout out
That's true,
Levandre.
Levandre.
Come
What
on, man.
happened?
Growth, man.
Only
We
took
love
it,
that.
yeah.
We love
Everything
that.
okay?
Come on, man.
All right. To be
Yeah.
considered Nigerian, all you need to be, I'm pretty much, I could be wrong. You just need to be born and have a passport, right? And then you're citizen in Nigeria, then you're Nigerian.
You're a citizen. Yeah.
That's your nationality.
Technically.
But we're not talking about nationality
We're
here.
talking about
We're
the-
talking about
yeah.
our culture.
What was the question that was asked?
So if her great-great-grandfather was mixed
Yeah.
and she decided to have a Nigerian wedding, could she have what? Could she have one? For me, I would say yes if she's been raised Nigerian. If all her life they've always neglected the Nigerian side of their history, but then when it comes to the wedding, because you think it's fun and vibes, you want to now adopt that all of a sudden. I'm saying
There you
no,
go.
because for me as well,
Okay.
if there was a
I
Nigerian,
need to drop Yomi's phone.
sorry, Chrissy, 1 second, sorry. If there was like a mixed race Nigerian woman and she
Thank
was
you.
having that wedding,
That's gonna go back.
and she had a traditional
Yeah,
wedding, that's
because
not a problem
Mummy
for me.
is picking him up
Yeah,
because he
because
finished at
your
1:30.
Wi-Fi.
Speaking of a black woman,
It's a
please.
Wi-Fi. Don't be rude.
Gosh.
What do you mean, gosh?
I've muted her. Don't worry.
No. Don't tag me into your business. That was not me. But yeah, so if it was a thing where she's been raised Nigerian and she raised culturally and all that kind of stuff, then I wouldn't have an issue with that. But if you've neglected your Nigerian side all this time, but then when it's time to get married because you think it's fun and games and you want to trend on TikTok, this is what you want to do. And I think that's what's annoying me, because I see this, like, people are really doing this to trend. Like, it's just content. It's a good content day for them.
Also, like, not to be
Last
bad.
words, please.
Yeah, you unmuted Chris.
Yeah, not to be bad or like disrespectful or anything.
Lit.
But nobody
Too far
exists
gone.
this way. Like, who is mixed, right? Let's just say they're mixed with Yoruba, and every child under that is going to have their way to marry white people.
Do you want to have a Nigerian wedding?
Great. These extreme questions don't even make no sense. How far are we going, man? Like, it don't make no sense.
All right. Thank you very much for everybody
Where's
who
Christy? You
participated.
muted her. She was talking.
I know she's not muted.
I think she was having a conversation with someone else.
Sorry, I didn't realise I was on mute. I was having a
Yeah.
side conversation. Sorry.
Oh,
We have to stand,
I was
Christy.
fighting for your justice as
Oh,
well.
you didn't realise?
No.
Oh no, it was clear she was looking to someone else.
Oh.
Anyway,
What's
bye
cheeky?
guys.
I think
Thank you for calling.
See you later, Christy.
I think it's safe to say.
You know what, man? You're a mug.
I think I speak for everyone when I say congratulations to the beautiful couple. I mean,
You don't speak for everybody. You need
You know what I'm
to
saying?
not speak for me.
congratulations. To them.
He did not read the room
Yeah,
at
how
all.
could anybody see so
Congratulations.
much joy on screen agreement?
I'm sure I saw something the other day. Someone was like Nigerian-themed wedding party or something like that. There was no wedding. I think it was just a reception. It was just the party. I can't remember. Anyway.
All right. Thank you very much.
Invite me to the wedding,
Again,
though.
we default to your expertise, Nigerians in the room. All right.
Specifically
Headlines.
Yoruba people.